Welcome back to Haunted by Tapes with the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Haunted by Tapes with the Frog Bros Podcast. Tonight's feature film is The Leprechaun 3. If you haven't heard our reviews of The Leprechaun 1 and 2,
we did it last year.
Please see our back catalog to see those.
I can't remember what episode it is, but I'm pretty sure we reviewed them both in one episode of the regular podcast, so it would be on the Frog Bros YouTube or just on our regular podcast audio feed if you're listening.
Yeah, go look up for March of 2021. You'll find that there. But tonight we're talking Leprechaun 3. It's a fucking gem of a flick.
You got all Boston there for a minute.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about a Boston movie soon. The Boston.
Are you a co-op?
Are you a co-op?
A corp?
Are you a co-op?
Like a co-op in a donut
If
factory.
you're a cop, you got to tell me.
So this Leprechaun 3 goes to Vegas.
1995.
Yeah, they made them every year there for a while.
And it's the first of these Leprechaun movies that's direct-to-video.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of the highest-grossing direct-to-video movies that year, though.
That's pretty cool. I can see why.
So it makes sense why they continued.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
As low budget it is, it's still pretty good.
This might be the lowest score of a Rotten Tomatoes movie we've ever covered. You want to guess what it is?
1.
0.8.
0.
0%. 4 reviews is all. But those are the professional reviews that it got. But everyone gave it a 0. That means.
Well, you got to give it some points for it's
being a movie.
It's
yeah.
amusing.
I'm just saying.
I had a good time watching.
Exactly. I'm not validating that. I'm saying that's hilarious.
When you're looking at the time frame too, there was not a lot of people reviewing professionally direct-to-video content,
especially direct-to-video horror like this. Just direct-to-video in general, really, but horror like this too. I feel
it should get points just for the amusing limericks.
The fact that they fucking shot and completed a major motion picture that's in a franchise and is a sequel alone should give them at least 1%.
Yeah. There's lots of interesting establishing shots of Las Vegas, and it's like a mixture of the old Vegas too, which is interesting because there's like the old strip and the new strip.
Well, it's interesting seeing how much of that's like still there and how much of it's all been redone since then. So
yeah, you see some of the big ones, like you see Excalibur, the castle one, a couple other ones.
This one in
the guy coming into the pawn shop, right, with the lucky tattoo on his hand, who has one eye and like one leg and shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck?
He's lucky to be alive is what they're implying. That he doesn't have good luck, he's just lucky to be alive.
He's bringing in a leprechaun statue, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. And he has the medallion around his neck, and he's like, don't touch that medallion. He doesn't tell him, don't take that medallion off the statue. He says, don't touch it. Which is
same thing.
Not enough information.
And Gupta doesn't give a fuck. Gupta's like, man, I ain't fucking around with this. I'm going to take this thing off here.
He puts that shit on right away, and he's like, all right, cool. I got a fucking new medallion. I'm a badass.
Hey, though, but he bought his very own leprechaun and medallion included for $20.
Yeah.
Because he was just going to give him $10 for it.
I would buy that leprechaun statue for $20. Hell, I'd buy it for $50 if they had that.
You know who needs to make that? Trick or Treat Studios needs to make that fucking statue with that medallion for sale for people, because I would put that up every March out on the fucking front porch.
I would put it up every day of every year.
Inside, but for March, you got to put it outside to really show it off.
Yeah.
Celebrate the Irish, you know what I mean?
Same director as In Space, too.
Interesting.
Same guy directed both of these.
That one has a much lower budget. It looks like a space porno budget. Like, legit. That's how bad it looks.
Do you remember what the rating for that one is?
No.
It should be lower. But you can't get lower than 0.
There's probably more people reviewing direct-to-video stuff then, because that's really the mid-'90s is kind of when that started picking up. Otherwise, you'd be selling to HBO, Showtime, or Cinemax for original content, but that still really wasn't a big thing then.
So he comes to life, and then there's a pot of gold sitting there. Mm-hmm. And obviously Gupta's like, hey, fuck yeah, pot of gold. And right away, he fucking Mike Tyson's him and bites his ear and bites a chunk out of it.
I was going to say, that's my note, too.
I love it.
I was like, this motherfucker looks like Evander Holyfield versus Tyson. His ears fucking... And he bites his toe off, too.
You know what he says, too? He says, I like Indian food. Spicy. Something like that.
Yeah, it's...
the first thing he said is a little racist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's derogatory. But, I mean, by this point in time, like... You know, in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, it took a little while for Freddy Krueger to become a caricature of his original self. Like, the one-liners are fucking full force, like being fired off like a machine gun in this movie.
It's great.
It's like over and over and over, and
Well,
it's
they're
so
limericks.
amazingly
That's what
bad.
we're here for.
Yeah, that's what we signed up for.
And in Vegas is a great town for Leprechaun, too, for so many reasons. It works.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Even the low-budgetness and the bad acting from a lot of the cast, I can look over it because Warwick Davis is a fucking legend and is underappreciated. And the fact that these were direct-to-video is a disservice to him, but the fact that they still prevailed and we're still here talking about him today in 2022 just goes to show how badass he is.
Could you imagine if someone
Carrying this shit on his back.
actually fucking wrote a good Leprechaun movie that he got to be in?
Well, I mean,
What are you
there's...
talking about? These are all good.
No, but I mean in like in a next level way, because yeah, Warwick Davis fucking carries these movies. He's the only reason you even fucking care about him. Like all the other actors and
Well, to be
characters
honest,
suck.
Ice-T is pretty good in the next one. Like,
Yeah.
he goes hand-to-hand with that. I really like that one. But the other actors in that are forgettable, too.
for sure.
Oh, and then he pulls his shoe off, and he's like, nice shoes! I like the leather! And then he bites his fucking toe off.
That was heroic. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is he doing? This is amazing.
He does pretty good for a guy that's bitten and beat up.
And he takes his gold, and he drops a coin on the way out. I was like, this is your fault.
I know.
Why don't you get a lid for your pot?
Right.
Yeah, he loses one, and then he fucking sits down and counts it.
Get a
little
bank
prick.
account.
And then Gupta's looking up leprechauns on the internet and shit.
No, he's not even on the He's get the old CD-ROM tray that you gotta put
yeah,
it in
that's
there.
right.
Oh, fucking so many nostalgic memories to that. It was beautiful.
Oh, and then Leprechaun's counting his gold, and he only has 99 shillings!
What? I'm missing a shilling.
Oh, and then you see Scotty in his car, and he's lame as fuck. And he picks up Tammy, who's apparently hitchhiking to work.
Yeah, and then
Or
they
car
got the
broke down.
Oh, that's right.
looks
that's
like
right.
you got a blown rod. Sexual
Oh, yeah, that's
innuendos,
right.
like right off the bat. She's looking at him like, I hate
Well,
you
he's so
already.
stupid to even realize that his character is. I don't think
Yeah.
he's supposed to be doing that on purpose. I think he's just a moron.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he is.
realize that, and she's like, really?
He is. He's got that like way oversized vest he wears the whole time. Like, what are you, a fucking behind the scenes photographer? Did somebody on set give that to you as fucking costume that they were wearing as they were doing grip work?
Get out of here with your $8.99 haircut, Scotty.
Yeah.
And she works at the Lucky Shamrock. She's a magician's assistant. And
Yeah, Scott chases her all the way in there, man.
yeah,
Like,
he stalks her. That's what I wrote down.
yeah, he's so desperate to smell her butt.
She works for the great Fazio. And he's definitely, like, as soon as she gets out of the car, I think he does sniff her seat. They just don't show that part.
It would make it a lot better of a movie if they showed him being a real creepster. And he's under 21,
It's a
too.
good thing they don't let us make these movies because they'd be so much better. We should, like, come up with a treatment for a Leprechaun movie and try to pitch it.
Fuck yeah, we should. It'd be
Um,
fucking amazing.
And then we get him begging her to let her into the casino. And eventually she's like, fine,
I'm
just
only
don't fucking
18.
gamble, you
Yeah.
fucking dumb bitch.
Where do you get that check from? I missed that.
I'm assuming that was from his parents to pay for his college or something stupid. They don't really elaborate.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see where it came from. I thought he found it on the floor.
Yeah.
No, the casino owner there, and I love how he's getting fucking held up by other people for money. And you're like, what? You own a fucking casino? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get Gupta versus the Leprechaun for a minute.
That's a pretty fun scene because he gets shot with that fucking arrow, and that arrow right through his arm is pretty good. And he's pissed, and he finds that medallion. And I love when he shoves it in his mouth, and you get all that green foam. It's like a foamy Alka-Seltzer pill, just green. It's amazing.
Yeah. Father Bob playing craps.
Yeah, but let's not forget the leprechaun fingers the gun. He's like, I'll give you the finger. And then the gun backfires and just fucking blows up.
It's amazing.
Gotta love those one-liners.
And then it's the great Fazio, and he's pissed about Tammy being late. And he says to his assistant, he's like, I could always be your assistant on stage or whatever, or whoever that lady is. And he's like, yeah, 20 years ago,
20
or
pounds
realistically, yeah, 20 pounds ago.
Yeah, that guy's a complete douche.
Yeah, he is. You will address me as Great One, on and off stage. Mm-hmm. And he has this flamethrower. He's talking about doing Burning Beauty, a new fucking, illusion. He's basically just Job from Arrested Development
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
with that fucking music.
So those thugs come in to shake down the casino owner, which is funny because they're like, come back at 10 o'clock. And they're like, does that work for you for your lunch break? Yeah, that's good. Kind of one of those silly things. It's satirical in the fact that, you know, they're doing this whole mob shakedown thing, but it's not as funny as it could have been.
Yeah.
But it's still entertaining, so I'll accept it.
Scotty's decided to gamble at this point, and
Magically has $23,000.
yeah, because why not?
And then they cash the check. Oh, yeah. And then we find out that the craps table's rigged.
Yeah, that's fucking a little dumb, but whatever.
Yeah. And he's down 23,000. She tries to, hey, go pawn your watch at this pawn shop over there. You can do it. I'll make your, you know, she has the ability to help his luck change.
Yeah,
so.
he's all pissy. He lost $23,000.
Oh, my life's over. And then the girl kind of feels slightly guilty about it. Was like,
Doesn't seem like he'd be wearing a watch worth much.
It's from his grandfather, though.
Oh,
He said
was
his
it?
grandfather
Okay.
gave it to him as a graduation present. So.
Yeah, he walks into the trashed shop after more ass whoopings between Gupta and Leprechaun when he is like tried to dupe him into making a deal or whatever, and it doesn't.
That
work
was
out.
pretty funny because they're both sitting there drinking. Well, he's sitting there. Gupta's sitting there drinking whiskey, and then he leaves it there, and he's like, the Leprechaun's like, I see you left the door open for me.
Yeah.
Comes in, and then he tricks him into setting the medallion down, and then does the fishing line magic trick, which is pretty funny.
Yes.
Then he fucking strangles him with the phone cord. That was a good one.
Scotty comes in and calls 911.
Yeah, I'm at a pawn shop. And there's a dead guy in here.
Yeah. He picks
Yeah,
up
I'll
the
stay
shilling
here.
and wishes to be back at the casino on a winning streak. Because he sees, like, they can grant wishes on the television screen, the computer. Or whatever.
Look at, yeah, the CD-ROM is playing it.
Is it supposed to be an indefinite winning streak, or what did he expect?
They don't really explain. They just say that you
Until
get
he
one
stopped,
wish.
probably, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause the chips kept moving to the winning number.
You get one wish per shilling is basically what they make it out to be, I think.
yeah.
Or is what they imply, anyhow.
He's constantly rhyming throughout this whole movie. I wish I would have written some of them down.
I know. I was thinking about doing that.
Oh, yeah, I wrote this down. A note. It was like, shitty rhyming, Scott winning big.
Basically, what is the mob
good
casino
rhyming.
boss is threatening Loretta,
It
too.
was better than Eminem.
Yeah. And then the Leprechaun has a fucking amazing...
He does rap in the hood. So
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Well, he meets his first celebrity here. He meets an Elvis impersonator, and they fucking get along and have like a little
Jesus
moment.
Christ.
It's so cheesy, but I love that moment. It's so stupid, but I was like, yes!
They would do the
They
Elvis
both
pose
do the
and
thing.
shit.
Yeah, I was there for that one. Oh, yeah.
Who should be getting paid for that? That's a good impersonation. You should be getting paid for that.
And then he makes green shit appear in the magician's hand, and he doesn't drop it. He just holds it and is like,
He's actually into it.
come on. Any normal human's going to immediately go, "Goo."
Yeah, especially if it was warm, you know? They should have implied that it's warm. You should be
Especially
like,
if it's
oh, that's
warm.
like it's like body temperature. It's got to be uncomfortable.
So the temperature of poo changes the amount of time you hold it?
If in a real life situation, yes, you'd probably be much more inclined to drop a warm turd faster than you would drop a cold turd, right? Let's put one in your hand,
I think
Nick.
it might drop them both at the same time.
This should be a science experiment, but I'm not holding the turds. You can.
Loretta tells Fazio about his money, and they plan to rob Scotty.
Fazio. It's like Fabio and Fozzie Bear.
Yeah, and Tammy tells Scotty to hide upstairs. Be careful with your money. Don't let anyone see you and go hide out.
He immediately goes upstairs and is showering, and it's just like, money, 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 money in the bathroom. And I'm like,
Scotty's
do something with that money, you
Scotty's
bitch.
pretty ripped.
Well, I mean, why do you think he was given this role? Not for his acting abilities.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. They're like, hey, you'll do.
I like how Fazio steals a silk shirt as the first thing he steals in there, though. He's like, ooh, that's silk. I'm keeping that. He eventually throws it back at him, but
Yeah, as he's snooping around.
yeah, he basically just like is not like he sticks out like a sore thumb. You could easily identify Fazio and be like, "That's fucking Fazio robbing
Yeah,
me."
this
Fazio
goddamn-
just tried to rob me. He was in my room.
The magician from this place tried to steal my money.
Um,
The leprechaun bites Scott in his arm,
Looked like he about fucking... Oh, wait.
and that's a huge turning point in this
Didn't
because
like his acid blood or whatever fall in his arm, too?
the green blood. I don't know. I know that he bites him on the arm, and then eventually we get to see him start turning into a leprechaun.
yeah, but is that because of the bite or the wish? Did they make it clear?
Uh-uh.
I think it was the bite.
I just assumed it was
Is he
the
a
bite.
were leprechaun? Because it'd have to be a bite specifically, like his saliva then, because he's already probably crossed blood and shit with a lot of people. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. They don't really explain that, and they never circle back to this in the other ones that I know of, so...
I was getting the impression that it was the coin,
Okay.
but it isn't very clear. So now that you say that you think it's the bite, it could be that too. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was thinking, okay, so leprechauns are like vampires and werewolves. You got to get bitten by one to become one.
That is a little... I like the coin thing better. I hope it's the coin thing. I'm going to go with that just because it's different.
There's a reason they never circled back to that concept in these movies. Either way, it's hilarious as you start seeing them change, because like the first thing they do is like bad like facial hair on them.
Yeah.
No, first thing he gets a big hankering for potatoes.
Oh yeah, he does get the. He sees the potatoes
He
and
gets the
steak
variety of potatoes at
at the room service cart, and he just eats the potatoes.
Who gets stabbed in the forehead?
Oh.
I don't even know. I didn't even write that one down.
Oh, fuck. Who was that?
All I said was titty magic for Mitch, because the leprechaun's in there playing all those ads on TV, and the titties are great and all, but the funniest thing about that whole
Well, that's
scene.
after he wishes that she was into him.
Oh yeah, Mitch wishes for Tammy.
For
For
Tammy,
Tammy, yeah.
to be into him, and then she's all like wanting to fuck him and go upstairs and bang him.
But why is she like abusing him on the way up there? I didn't get that.
I don't know, but it's I'm
Maybe
here
that's
for
what
it.
she's into. I
I'm
guess.
into it. I'm watching and I'm like, damn, I want to do that to me.
Yeah.
I would
like-
trade places with Mitch
Then
in
he
a
starts-
minute until she turns into a robot.
No, that was the other girl.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was the
still.
girl from the TV.
Well, she ran away crying first because, whatever.
'Cause it
Which is
wore
hilarious
off.
because
Yeah.
Loretta comes in the room and then steals the fucking coin, and then all of a sudden she's like out of her daze, like, what the fuck's going on here? But then we go back to the titty magic. It's just hilarious because, like I said, titty is great and all, but the fucking TV advertising the Leprechaun is doing in the background where he's talking to Mitch directly is the best. And I
Oh,
love
wait.
the very last one he does is where he's making fun of all those people that are doing like psychic readings and shit.
Oh, hold on. Before you get there, they have those two dudes that are talking about the underwear. Remember that?
Oh yeah, he's
What's
like, yeah, there's a
better,
random
underwear?
one, but-
I prefer no support. I prefer to be free, you know, like they're debating what's better.
Don't they call him a sissy or something about that? Says he feels like a sissy when he's wearing jockeys.
Oh, yeah. And Mitch calls his dick a heat-seeking moisture missile.
Yeah, that was one of those lines you're like, oh, okay. So that happened.
Praise the Lord and send in your money. He's doing the fucking televangelism, and
Yeah.
then he goes to the psychic thing, and
Yeah,
I love both.
fucking love those. Those are so good, man. I wish. Oh, that's probably the best part of that movie is that scene in the background, and then
It's very Freddy Krueger.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. Especially the robot that woman changes into.
Yeah,
and
that too.
shocks him. I was like, oh yeah, it's totally.
It's good and
Nightmare on Elm
weird
Street
and
vibes.
like different. You're like, well, this shouldn't be in a Leprechaun movie, really, but it works.
It's hilarious just because it's so
So
absurd.
the leprechaun can make sex robots.
Apparently,
He can do anything with magic.
He can make a lot of gold selling those.
I think this movie inspired the Chinese because they're really big into sex robots over there, especially because the number of men outnumber the number of women. So they sell a lot of sex robots there.
Because they
Here's
throw
something
girls
very
in the
laughable: is
dumpster.
when Scotty and Tammy come back up into the room, see the things, and then they hear somebody else coming into the room, and they walk off camera and have somehow disappeared. They literally walk off to the right of the screen, and then somebody else walks right into frame, and they're just gone.
Well, there's two entrance and exits to this hotel room from Mitch's room, which doesn't make any sense. Like, the two thugs coming through the door that's on this other side of the bed, and then it implies that they leave out of this other door that they came in through. So it's fucking stupid.
Or that's when the two thugs, one of them says, "Hey, I know you. You're the guy from the craps table." Yeah, the guy who made you barf up coins earlier. You don't
Yeah.
fucking have a more explicit response to seeing this guy. Hey, I know you.
You're the guy that turned my mouth into a slot machine.
Like, yeah, that was a little ridiculous. And then somebody gets hit in the dick. Who was that? The nut shot.
Mitch gets hit in the dick, doesn't he?
No, one of the thugs.
Oh, okay.
But then you get Scott turning into the leprechaun, and it looks like shit.
Oh, it's so bad. Especially some of the transitional scenes. Like, eventually later on, it looks amazingly grotesque in a weird way. But some of the earlier ones just don't work as well. But it's fine. Then we get one of the best death scenes in this whole movie, which surprisingly lacks the amount of blood I was really hoping for in this scene.
Oh, yeah, the chick with the blown-up tits and lips and an ass.
Loretta, yeah, after she changes herself and wishes to be young and beautiful again, you know, she's like all flashing and checking herself out in the mirror.
She looked like Kim Kardashian for a minute.
Yeah.
And then the leprechaun first inflates her titties, and then he does her ass and hips.
That you can't fit
Lips.
through the door.
Yeah, her
It
lips
looks like a fucking duck.
and then fucking explodes, and then he's got that little umbrella he pulls out that's got a little bit of blood on it, but there's
Yeah.
no blood in the other room. It's just like this exploding
There's a little
foam.
bit
It
of
looks like in a
guts.
mattress exploding when she blows up.
Looks like when the Bond villain explodes in Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
There's slot machines in the hospital.
Yeah, it's Vegas.
Yeah, but, I mean, come on.
There are slot machines in the hospital?
I don't know if there really
There's
are or
an
not. If they
airport, I
are,
think.
that is shameless and depressing as fuck. Like, that is fucking...
I don't disbelieve it.
That is... What do they call that on the internet? I mean, not just the internet, but it's a popular internet thing, like the late stages of capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slot machines at the hospital.
Well, you could win some medical treatment.
Jesus Christ. It's Idiocracy.
That's better than what we
Isn't
have.
there slot machines in the hospital at Idiocracy?
Probably.
I'm pretty
so,
sure that's
probably.
a thing.
Are there doctors in the hospital?
Well, in Vegas, they have fucking slot machines at the airport and all kinds of other random shit.
That's more acceptable. That makes sense. There's not...
Well, do you want to pay big medical bill, or do you want to take a turn at the slot machine
Daddy's
and maybe
trying to
win some
Pay
surgery?
for your cancer treatment, honey. He'll be back soon.
Yeah, he'll be back. Oh, sorry, you don't get to live.
And we don't get to live in a house anymore either.
Well, that's how our world is. You gamble. Are you born to a rich family
Pretty much.
or no?
Then we see that Tammy has the medallion. He reacts pretty funny when when she shows it to Scott. He's like, "Don't show me that ever." Okay, just checking. All right, sorry, Booger's interrupting us.
Bugger, don't unplug.
He's trying to lean into the cables. You see when I push him, he just leans on me. And I'm like, God damn it. You're inches from the damn thing.
So
He's fine.
all of a sudden, leprechauns become dogs, and they sniff out the fucking gold that they're after. Hunts that thing down like a goddamn fucking bloodhound. Goes and finds it. Gets the money from the safe. And he magically uses the safe and unlocks it like the leprechaun did. Like, he's basically doing everything the leprechaun does. Has that shitty fake accent, too.
Yeah.
Which I think was another reason they cast him. Like, he could do this, like, half-assed
Yeah,
Irish
that's what I was
accent. And I was like,
thinking, too.
oh, my God, is that the only reason they picked this guy? Because he's terrible.
I kind of just cringed and blocked it out of my mind. Some of the ending here with him.
They take Scott into isolation at the hospital. That's a pretty funny scene.
Yeah, what do they think he has?
And then I love how the fucking doctor and nurse find his cash, and then they start, like, finding ways to fraud him. And I'm like, okay, that does sound
Yeah,
a
he
lot
needs
like the
CAT
medical
scan.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, $10 for a bag of saline that costs, like, 10 cents to make. Great.
$20 for a box of tissues.
Yeah. $10 for one Advil.
You don't really think they charge $10,000 for a hammer, $30,000 for a toilet seat, do you? Independence Day quote for you.
Absolutely.
They do charge that much.
Judd Hirsch.
I wrote the note of the silly props in the office. And so I think that's like the office of, I don't even know what I was thinking of there.
That's money laundering at its best.
Yes.
The White House being built.
Uh-huh.
If Ozark has taught me anything.
Scott does some magic shit. The medallion scares the leprechaun. Fazio's burning trick. Fazio's death scenes.
The best fucking shit. With the chainsaw and the leprechaun sawing him in half.
Yes.
Fucking brilliant writing for this. Like,
It's
I mean,
one of the
as
best
brilliant as
segments,
you
yeah.
can get as doing a leprechaun in Vegas, that's obvious. That's money.
Mm-hmm.
Killing the magician by sawing him in half.
They should have
Yes.
called it Leprechaun in Vegas.
Now, they had a little bit of blood. Again, they were very light on the blood in that sequence, but I did love the guts when they spread the thing open to show that he was dead and all the audience freaks out.
Mm-hmm.
The guts in there look pretty good just because it's a quick little shot. It looks gross.
Just some stringy shit.
Just lacking the blood, though. That's it.
There should have been a little bit more, but there was a little bit of spray there, but...
And I like how it's an electric chainsaw. It's not a gas-powered chainsaw, so it just automatically works. You don't have to fucking start it and pull it and all that shit. Like, you can even see the power cord on it. I'm like, very nice. Well done. Well done. It's the little details.
Yeah.
Then they gotta fucking torch the gold. Scott is able to torch the gold, which it doesn't make any sense. So he torches the gold. The gold disappears. The leprechaun starts flying around and on fire in the room.
What's the melting point of gold?
Fucking a lot higher than that blowtorch was going to be. You'd have to smelt it. And then the leprechaun's dead body stops flying around the room on fire and just fucking burns into a pile of a dead skeleton. And then magically, Scott returns back to Scott. Hey, you're you again. Cool.
In a very hilarious one of those shots.
Yeah, it's like a before and after
They
scene.
just fade it, basically.
It's like those TikTok videos that everyone does, like where they're like basically changing in their clothes or something. Like it's poorly edited, the
Or
continuity
where
doesn't line
they
up.
jump and then they land.
Yeah.
They're in different clothes
Mm-hmm.
or less
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah, usually less
It's
clothes.
usually girls thinking they are in a frumpy outfit and they don't look attractive when they're still just like, you're still a cot like that. So it's just fucking cut
They're
it out.
Rachel Lee Cook in the beginning of She's All That, and then they're Rachel Lee Cook in the end of She's All That.
Yeah, so Scott returns to normal. Tammy kisses him finally, and then obviously,
Don't they throw the gold away? He's like, oh, I have
No, no,
everything
yeah,
I
no,
want.
She has one coin.
yeah, she finds that last shilling that was not in the pot of gold that never got returned, which how he died. So it was like 1%
without
of him still
destroying
alive.
all of it.
Either way, so she finds it. She's like, well, yeah, and then she throws it away.
Yeah.
She throws it. She knows that it's done.
I'd have used it.
This is one of the few Leprechaun movies that doesn't kill off quite a bit of the cast, right? The main two characters make it through the entire film in this one. Usually they kill off quite a few. And the fact that that pair like randomly survived is interesting.
It kind of makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah. Either way, it's a fun one.
All the scuzzy casino people die, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not a... Let me tell you this way. High entertainment value, lowbrow entertainment, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's stupid, but it'll get you through.
Yeah. I didn't grow up watching the Leprechaun movies. I saw them later in life, and I like them a lot because they're from that period of films and stuff that I liked.
They still feel very nostalgic, even though they're not familiar.
That's why I
In the
like
same
watching 80s and 90s movies like more than anything else, ones that I haven't seen before, or ones that I saw as an adult for the first time that still feel, like you said, nostalgic, like Point Break or The Rock that I watched recently for the first time.
You just watched A Rock for the first time? We could review that.
Eventually we will.
So look forward to us covering Leprechaun 4 in space next week. It's going to be a fucking banger. Well, they only go up from here. But we're only doing 2 a year for now. So if you want us to hear the next 2 Leprechauns in the hood,
Yeah, wait till next year. when
wait
we're
till
in the hood.
2023. We'll be in the hood and back to the hood. Because they had to spell it different, you know.
The THA.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.